welcome Mr. Michael Arsenault to the stage.
Thank you very much, Jason, for that introduction. And I actually cold emailed Jason about a month ago asking for a slot in this show. So I guess we'll find out in the next 7 minutes or so if he'll ever answer an unsolicited email ever again. And as Jason mentioned, my name is Mike Arsenault, and I turned 40 2 weeks ago. Thank you. And this is actually my second time doing stand-up comedy. I did my first set for my 30th birthday, and a lot has changed in 10 years. Back then, I talked about the annoyances of dating 25-year-old women. And now, if a 25-year-old hostess looks me in the eye and tells me to have a good night, you can't peel the smile off my face for 3 days. I don't get out much anymore. I'm married with 2 daughters. I have, my youngest is almost 2, and my oldest will be 5 later on this year. And it's great, don't get me wrong, but things are different now. My wife and I, we used to live in a condo in downtown Toronto, and we'd have these great dinners at all these trendy restaurants and just sit there and talk for hours. And now we sit down at the dinner table for 3 minutes at home before someone starts crying or won't eat or just wants to eat dessert instead. Then I'm huddled over the kitchen sink, cramming their gross little leftovers into my mouth like a feral raccoon digging through a garbage can. And having a wife and 2 daughters, it's kind of like handling back-channel negotiations for a peace treaty between 2 warring nations. I'll be cleaning up after breakfast, and the sound of an argument and crying drifts downstairs. I steel myself and head up to investigate. Sweetheart, what's wrong? Why are you crying? You don't want to wear those pants? Why not? They're too loose. What does that mean? They're too loose at the bottom. Okay. She doesn't want to wear those pants. She says they're too loose at the bottom. Oh, they're flared. They're supposed to look like that. Sweetheart, they're flared. They're supposed to look like that. Why do you have to wear those pants? Why can't you wear the black ones instead? That's a good question. Why does she have to wear those? She has tons of pants. Okay. You always buy her new clothes, and she never wants to wear them. Mommy bought you these ones. They're really nice. No, yeah, I know they're too loose. Okay, how about this? You wear those pants, and you can pick out any shirt you want. You want to wear this shirt? Of course you can. She's going to wear the pants, and she picked out this shirt all by herself. What do you mean the shirt doesn't go with the pants? Does that matter? Yes, it does matter. Okay. And then 5 minutes later, my daughter's wearing the pants, but she gets to watch 3 episodes of Bluey after school. It's exhausting. There's not a lot of time for rest and relaxation. And speaking of that, my wife and I used to have lots of, how do I put this, alone time. And now the best we can do is role play to Miss Rachel. Put it in, put it in, put it in. Yay! Great job! You did it! Fast and slow, fast and slow, fast, 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 slow, slow, slow. You laugh, but that cadence is very successful, right, honey? You think that's awkward? My parents are here watching this scene. But that is purely for recreational purposes only. We're finished having kids. I had a vasectomy about a year ago when my youngest was 8 months old. Now I get queasy around needles generally, so sharp things near my groin isn't exactly my idea of a good time. So I go to the doctor's office, I get there an hour early, and they give me a numbing patch to apply. Sounds pretty good. The less I can feel, the better, right? So I put the numbing patch on and I go outside to walk around a little bit. But I can't tell if the numbing patch is working. So I'm walking down the street, flicking myself in the scrotum to see if I can still feel it. I go back to the doctor's office and finally they take me into the operating room. Get in there, put the gown on, no phone, just alone with my thoughts. I started looking around the room and that's a sharp pair of scissors right there. Why does he need 2 scalpels? what's that weird laser machine doing over there in the corner? So I just feel my anxiety rising, and I look down, and I am like a toddler down there. Like it just completely disappeared. What is the doctor gonna think when he sees this? So my stupid male brain thinks about sending him a picture of myself later at full capacity to give him a more accurate representation of the region. So finally the doctor comes in, I get spread-eagled on the table, eyes are closed, and I'm poking through a small hole in one of those blue surgical sheets. So he starts working away. I can feel the incision. I can feel him tugging. And then he stops. All done, I asked, hopefully? Halfway, he said, as I remembered that I do in fact have 2 testicles. He gets back to work. And he stops. All finished. I'm like, my chest feels weird. It feels like I have this intense pressure. It feels like someone is sitting right on top of me. And then my arms curl up into claws and are sticking out perpendicular from my chest. I'm like, I don't feel very good. Doctor gets up and leaves the room. A female nurse comes in with a bottle of water. You're having a panic attack, she says. I look at her and desperately try and stuff myself back through the little surgical hole, but my hands won't cooperate. So we just have to lie there, doing breathing exercises, while she stands over my shaved, stitched, shrunken area. 10 minutes later, I hobble out of there, a broken man. But there was a silver lining to the procedure. It actually brought my wife and I closer together. Because now I know what childbirth feels like. I'm going to pay for that one. Thank you very much.